I am JB Bryan, the President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of AfroEconomics. Yes, indeed, it is. Thank you all so much for registering in AfroEconomics.com for the events page so that we can keep in touch. I have so many, thank God, so many contacts, and I really appreciate you all allowing me to become a part of your financial life. This is our opportunity to make financial empowerment a household name. I want to see AfroEconomics book. I want to see this book in everybody's house like the old encyclopedias used to be, right? We don't really have a household staple like we should. What should be at every, I should do that, like do a blog or something. Dr. Bozeman, you do that. you do that. We have someone all the way from California that is participating with us, and he is an extremely good writer. So please do that for us on what books should be on your coffee table, and please include AfroEconomics. You are one of the first people to help me, increase my confidence. You just never know when God is using you, but I know that Reverend Bozeman has been helping and praying for me in actively and in his prayer time. So I thank God for you. But yes, indeed, what books should we have? Make sure that you include AfroEconomics.com. I can give it to you in the ebook format. So anybody that's watching right now, if you want the ebook, email me at jb@jbbryan.com. Everybody at Metropolitan Baptist Church from the weekend, don't think I've forgotten about you. You are getting all of the invites, and I'm going to, let me give you my word that you will get your ebooks tomorrow. And I pray that we have the correct email for everyone. But had a great time in Metropolitan Baptist Church in Virginia this past weekend. Their transformation ministry is transforming lives and allowing me to help, and I appreciate that. So we're talking about 10, well, I don't know if I should say 10, because I always give you like a lot of reasons, and I add in like 100,000 more. But some good reasons for us to, I'm waiting, JB attended the wonderful seminar at Metro. Oh, that's so good. I'm so glad you got it on the webinar as well. Yes, you will get your book. But if you would like a ebook, and I would love for you to get the real book, and some people at Metropolitan Baptist did win the book, but you can print it out. Print it out when I send it to you. That would be a lot of paper though. But thank you for that. Thank you for participating this past weekend, and for all of the sisters coming out and brothers that are going to be at the Black Women of Excellence brunch on this Saturday in DC at 700 12th Street Northwest. That's our DC office. That they're going to be there in our conference room, our big one. So that we're going to have brunch, and we're going to get down and just talk about financial empowerment for women and some things that we need to make sure we continue to do as we're doing it right. So all we're going to do is just stay inspired. So how about those credit cards? Now, many a times you've heard me complain to you about why credit cards are horrible, why you shouldn't have a credit card. Well, I want to tell you that credit cards have a purpose, and there are ways that you can make the credit card work for you. So that's why I, jokingly in the invitation put the picture of Samuel Jackson that does that commercial, on what's in your wallet, right? And there's a whole bunch of other people doing what's in your wallet. So now you got JB Bryan saying what's in your wallet. Well, make sure that what's in your wallet is working for you. So how can having a credit card benefit you? Well, of course, we know that it is going to boost your credit history and boost your credit score. But that is only if you use it properly, right? So making sure that the credit card is benefiting you, you want to make sure that your purchases are under 20%. Now, I'm saying that not at any time during the month should you max out that credit card. Not at any time. You know how they say put everything on the credit card, then make sure that you pay off the credit card. Well, I'm saying if everything is 20%, then that's cool. Now, that's the argument for why it might be helpful to have more than one credit card, because if you don't have a high limit credit card and you need $1,000 purchase, you would be better off putting say $200 on 5 cards, with $1,000 limit, because those 5 cards would only be at their 20% limit. So, and I hope that you're getting that, because as a financial advisor many years ago, when I initially started learning more and more, I thought, well, telling everyone to only have one credit card was a good thing. And then I really looked at, like, when you only have one credit card and you have this emergency come up and you near max out your one credit card, as convenient as it may be, you've just hurt your credit history, even though you're paying it on time, because you only had that one credit card and you needed to spend $900 of your $1,000. Well, now it's saying you're too close to your credit limit and it's hurting your credit score. Everybody get that is participating? So you give me some feedback on your opinion on that. Please type it in and let me know, especially those of you in the webinar. If anybody has a question and they want to ask me as a panelist, I will promote you as a panelist so that we can all share in your question, except for those who always want to do it. I want somebody that is going outside of themselves and broadening yourself, and you can say, wow, I never did that before, and I did that on AfroEconomics, and now you're a famous TV star because I gave you your first break. That's what I want. I want you. Ask me that question. So remember, it's better to have many with low limits than to have one that you have nearly maxed out. Bring that home. Definitely think about that, because even though you're told, especially for those of you who are just developing your credit, that, oh, getting a credit card is great for you to develop credit. Well, you can get a credit card, and like many college students do, you get the cards, you max it out, so your credit history is bad. So you have to understand credit. It'd be great to have an opportunity to talk to freshmen going into college that this is what you don't do, and this is how they can help you. Now, a second point is that credit card purchases are great for what? Joining AfroEconomics now, but for internet purchases. So when you're purchasing something like a book, membership, anything, that's on the internet, you can't purchase it without having a credit card. Like, how are you going to do it? Like, sometimes you'll see where it'll have a bank draft and you can put in your checking account information. But, the safest thing I would say, and I don't exactly know why, but I think it's safer to avoid giving a check out and the routing and the account number. It'd be harder to probably stop that, where you could go into your app, and if you lose, you want to turn something off, you can go into your app and, turn the whole card off if you didn't want them to take that draft. But if somebody has your checking account number set up for an auto draft, that would be really hard. You might have to, I've seen people who've been victims of identity theft and they had to close down their entire checking account. So, be aware of that. And then emergency money, like I said, something happens to your car, you have $1,000 card, you need to have it fixed, and you don't get paid until, whatever, you can't get access to your emergency account real quick, and maybe it's in a brokerage account and you have to wait for them to send it to you. So you just use your credit card, right? And then you use the credit card and you get it and then you pay it off. I mean, really, how do you take care of that, without having some sort of card? You'll have to have, so we need to not feel like credit cards are our enemy. They don't have to be. They can be our friend. And then there's cards that have rewards with them. You know, we want to make sure that if they have rewards where they're giving you points and you can use it for purchases and discounts and things like that, you know, take advantage of it. Make them work for you. Not when somebody calls you and they have a credit card offer, is it a reward card? You know, what is in that for me to get this card from you? And, you know, there's store cards I don't like as much as just a regular credit card, because if you get a store card and it's $1,000, but you need to get your vehicle fixed, which is a real emergency, or you need to buy some groceries, you can't get that with a Dillard's or Nordstrom's card, right? You can get it with your Saks card. So you can buy Saks with a Visa card, but you can't buy groceries with a Saks card. So look at it that way, right? Is it really financially beneficial to use credit cards as a emergency money? What else could you do? Everybody does not have an emergency account. So yes, indeed, you know, they will have to use the credit card for emergency money, even if they had an emergency account and they, like I was saying, and they can't get to it quickly because you might have your emergency account. And, you know, I would suggest that, but like say if it's a brokerage account, we can attach a debit Visa card to the brokerage account. But a lot of people don't have that. They're using like credit union savings accounts or something for their emergency accounts. So it just really, really, you know, depends. But definitely a credit card is there. That's the major purpose for it, should be to take care of emergency travel and things like that. You can't get an airplane ticket. I don't think you can without having a credit card. So, you know, definitely be aware that, yes, if you have an emergency, don't feel bad. Have that credit card, have a credit card with an available balance. And then the credit cards, which I love, credit card, debit cards, give you an instant accounting report. Like you can see exactly what you want, what you spent your money on for that week, that month, that year, with those reports, those statements. So it definitely, you know, gives you a record that you can use for purchases. And then if you do have cash of $1,000 and you lose $1,000 cash, the $1,000 is lost. But if you have a credit card, even if you like just, I don't know, if you had a credit card that if you just prepaid it and put the $1,000 on the credit card, then you don't have to at least have fear of losing the $1,000 because it's on the card. And if you lose the card, you can just turn off the card and then get another card issued. And if somebody uses the card and it wasn't you, you still can get your money back. You get $1,000, somebody come up, take $200 of your $1,000 cash and leave you $800, you can't get that $200 back. You cannot get it back. So definitely using credit cards will allow you to not have that fear of, oh, my purse, where's my money? You know, my money, I need somebody stole my money out of my pocket. You know, they steal your card, you can go and turn it right off. So the definitely, and a benefit is that we really don't think about a lot, but if you use the card and pay the card off quickly, so it's an emergency and you just had to get to your emergency fund, you just had to wait till you got paid, but you had to use it, you're not paying interest on that short period of time that you just used it. So that's interest-free money. That's free use of that money. You know the money's coming. You got the money coming. Use the credit, but if you have your credit cards maxed out, you can't get access to that interest-free money of I can use this until I get access to my money, right? Or before till my money gets wired in, or I have to sell these stocks in order to get that money, but I got trade day +3, you know, for settlement. So it might take a week before you get the money from selling a stock with me. So you use a credit card, sell the stock, you get the cash wired to you, boom, that was interest-free money. You used it, you paid your card right back off, right? So then, you know, say that you order something and the business never sends you, like you go on, use my own commercials, right? You go in the website, you go to the bookstore, you order the book, and God forbid, I don't send you the book. You can cancel that book order because you never got the book. So you call your credit card company, you go, I never got the merchandise, you're protected, right? So easy as that. So-and-so, it was damaged and I don't like it, whatever. The credit card company will help you in that dispute. They'll give you the money back until, the person says, oh, well, I did send it. What happened? Oh, maybe it was the wrong address. It was whatever. You got the money back until you get that product. So there's so many things that you can use it for that are working to your benefit that we're not really thinking about. Nobody's really telling us to think about it because all we think is that you get a credit card, you're supposed to use it for purchases, you go into debt, you don't pay the bill, ruins your credit. That's not, we're smarter than that. In AfroEconomics, we're looking at why we need to have strong credit so we can get access to these credit lines. We can use them interest-free to take care of things that we might need, and then we pay them off, and we don't go over 20% of the balance, right? And then, what about, as I said, and I wrote down as a point, that for traveling, for that protection of not having to walk around traveling with cash, for traveling for, I don't know, because I haven't done international traveling, but I bet you might not have to do a whole bunch of currency exchanges, or it might be able to help you with currency exchanges by having the credit card to purchase, and it might say US dollars this amount, European dollars, or whatever, this amount, so that, and then you can just swipe the card, and use it. Because I know somebody stole one of my cards somehow, and they were going all around and using Uber on my card in Europe. I was like, wow. I'm like world traveler, but I'm just not there. But of course, I got all that money back. But it did let me know that those, U.S. credit cards are accepted in traveling, in other places. So be aware that they can be very convenient for you when you're traveling, for, any of the purchases that you might need in order to just cover things and cover you while you're getting from an emergency situation to being able to settle the account. And then also, I want to bring home again the point that you have to be very careful about how much we put on the card, or what's in your wallet will be killing you instead of helping you. Also, another point is that focus on having multiple cards. Remember, instead of just focusing on one card, because the multiple cards, if you carry a high balance, it would be better to spread it out because it will damage your credit by having more than 20% of the credit line being used and staying there. Also, don't ever go to the max during any time during the month. It is acknowledged. I don't know how they do it. You definitely don't want your payment to end with that on the balance. Just because you got the bill and then you paid it off. No, that's not a good thing. Do not at any point allow that card to be maxed out, and definitely don't allow it to go over your maximum limit. We have to manage it. I found out that proper credit card use helps your credit more than a mortgage or a car payment, because the payments on a credit card are variable. So being able to manage a credit card properly tells that you are a better money manager than when you just pay a fixed amount consistently, because it's the same amount every month. But so those simple interest accounts don't give you as much boost in your credit paying ability as having a good credit history on a credit card. So that's something that I definitely want you to, wanted to make sure that I share with you. So, and they can boost your credit score, but you have to make sure that you use them properly. Be very careful when you take advantage of every offer. Be very careful of the fees that are attached to the offers that you get, because, everything that glitters is in gold, a lot of times you don't need it. Don't just take cards just because they offered it. Don't just try just because you can, because you did. Don't just get it and have another one in the wallet, but make sure that you're keeping it below. If you have one and it's below 20% and it's got a good line available, like, if you could get where 3 months of your expenses are available to you on a credit card while you're developing 3 months of your expenses in your savings, that would be great, because once you have 3 months of savings, 3 months of that credit card limit of your expenses available in a credit line, your credit cards are a credit line, of sorts. So then you basically are covered for 6 months if something were to happen, for 6 months of emergencies through the proper use of it. But you would have to have it available to you for an emergency. If it's maxed out, it can't really help you. Any questions before you go? Is there any scenario where you would recommend using a credit card to finance a startup business? It's funny you would ask me, because that's definitely what I did. And what is that? A Visa that I had. Shoot, I think I had that card for almost forever. I had to close that thing down because they kept increasing it. It was scary to me. It would start sending you checks and stuff like that. Remember, what was that, like around 2000, the new millennium and stuff like that? They were just sending you like checks to advance on your credit cards, and they would give you this huge limits on your credit card. But yeah, when I first started it was just a $2,000 card. And so we have to be conscious that they're going to continue to try to increase the line available, but be smart and don't fall victim in business, as I have been there, where you start using that credit card. And I was so excited that I got that credit card paid off that I got rid of it. I probably should have kept it, but you live and learn. I'm telling y'all things that I really want you to have the advantage of the mistakes that I've made. That's why I have the entrepreneurship membership because I definitely feel that mentoring each other, how much we benefit each other, that we don't need to have. I was a first generation entrepreneur. Many of us are. We don't need to have that again. So everybody that's in my entrepreneurship membership, that I'm committed to you. I know I'm committed to you, to your success as a business owner and as your individual. But I definitely wasn't privy to any type of government grants or government businesses or anything like that. I just, used that card, paid it well, and, we just make a commitment to living within our means, keeping those cards down as much as possible. But yeah, I use my savings and I use a credit card. And when does it work? When you know that your business is going to generate enough revenue to pay it off. And then I would recommend using it for a startup business, anytime where the business doesn't have any other option, and when the business knows that they have the money coming in and they're going to get it paid off. So, Mr. Wells say you remember those offers with the checks, is for sure. Ms. Sherman said, so happy that someone asked that question. That's right. Ms. Felder said, is the increase in credit usable towards bringing the credit percentage down to the 20%? Yeah, so true. That's definitely an option for a person. It usually doesn't happen that way though, because usually when they give you the offer for the increase in credit line, that it's because you're not anywhere near your maximum and you've been doing great and you don't look like you really need it. Y'all know how that is. When you don't really need it, then they give you all these offers. Well, if you have 50% and they give you 20%, then it really will help you a lot and help your credit score. But on the flip side, what has happened, and that is definitely like during 2008, 2009, 2010, these banks started being aggressive about reducing people's credit line so that they might have had 20%. And all of a sudden, when they reduced their credit line, these people were at 50%, 60%. Some people were maxed out because the bank reduced their credit line on them unexpectedly. So we have to be conscious of that fine print. Do you have the ability to reduce my credit line without my approval? It's that, because so I'm glad you brought up that point, because be aware of that. Look at the fine print when we get these, that they will, they will flip the script on you. Yeah, and jack you up. That's another reason why we need to keep it as low as possible, because they ain't bringing it all the way down to 20%. But if they take away 50% of your credit line and you're already at 20%, you're looking at like 80, 90% just because of their own adjustment. It's real. Using credit cards is not a lifestyle. It's just a temporary help through an immediate need. They're not a long-term financial plan. You need something for long-term, then we start getting into simple interest loans, things like that. The credit cards are not for that purpose. They are for you to use them to your advantage, interest-free loans for very short periods of time. Don't carry a balance. If you do, make sure it's less than 20%, right? And pay it on time all the time. Thank you, Mr. Wells. Thank you back. Yes, indeed. Any other questions for me, y'all? Interesting topic. Don't even know why I thought about it, but I'm glad that it was of interest to you all, because, these are real. And a lot of people, they said research was showing that over 70% of young people, it was like talking about people like in college, like over 70%, like near 80% of them had a credit card. So if you have someone, or if you're a young person on here listening, don't let them hurt you. Make sure that the credit cards help you. And, these are some key strategies that I think that if I had known earlier, I would have done some things differently. It's a strategy. Life is so methodical. We have to live life on purpose. Everything we do, we have to do it on purpose. Don't get comfortable thinking that, I got the job, I got the degree, and everything is straight. No matter what point in your life. We have some people hanging out with us right now in their 60s and 70s, and they are still living their life on purpose. I think that, we give up and we bow out way too soon. Some people have made their greatest contributions to the world very later in their life, as it is considered. So every day is a new beginning. And I'm just saying that to myself, saying it to myself to keep myself motivated. No, but we have so much to offer. And I appreciate you taking the time out and your commitment. Ms. Felder says, how can you negotiate the interest rate down? By asking. Most people don't even ask. A lot at the Black Women of Excellence Bank brunch on Saturday, I'm going to talk a lot about, us asking for more money, getting that raise that we deserve. So you got to take those same negotiating techniques that you use when you go in the store in this downtown in the underground, and you want to get this purse for cheaper. That's the same negotiating skills you got to take to the credit card company and get the interest rate down. Yo, you can do it. If a credit, this is Demetria, if a credit account goes to collections, does it help your credit score once the collection that is paid off, or does it hurt your score? Or so when it goes to collections, does it help your credit score, or does collections that is paid off, does it hurt your score because it's in collections in the first place? Yep. It depends on what you're trying to do, but the collection is going to show up there, but it will help that the collection is satisfied, And what I find is interesting is that a lot of people don't realize that settlements, even if you settle for $1 under the agreed amount, the settlement is still going to have a negative effect on your credit, because you didn't pay the full amount. So be very aware that, that is going to take 7 years to fall off. And if you really want the score to come up and you have the money, go on and pay it off So the rest of it that is due, if you need to have the credit score to come up, and call the company back and say, hey, I did that settlement for that amount, and now I have the rest of that money, so that it could come up as satisfied. But if you're at year 6 before and it's year 7 and you're talking about multiple thousands of dollars, you might be better off just waiting for whatever it is you're trying to finance. That because you're going to, it's going to drop off soon anyway, or if it's going to fall off in a few months, so we have to be conscious of that. We'll also have to be conscious of if you have something that's due and it's you haven't paid it in 2 years, it's in collections. And then you say, can I start making payments? And you start making $50 payments on that $10,000 bill. You have started over your 7 years again. So if you had left it alone, so basically when it goes in collections, my friend, do all or nothing, you know what I mean? Because if you don't have it all, you making that payment is starting it all over. So then at least like if you're at year 4 and then you're going to start over a whole nother 7 years because you made a payment in year 4. That's sad, isn't it? But it's real. So be aware. And that's something that we talk about as members, that we need to go through, credit reports. We need to go through, all of those things, those credit situations, how to work through them, because there's so many scammers out there who are saying we can correct your score. They get stuff that's taken off and then it's taken off for 30 days and then it goes right back in on because it was a legitimate, it was you, they're going saying, no, that wasn't me, you know what I'm saying? And they connect it back and they go, and the credit company is like, oh, yes, it was you. So it goes right back and the credit score goes right back down and you've paid them multiple hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars for absolutely nothing. So we have to work through it together. It's a process. It's a process. You cannot, it cannot just buy our way out of mistakes. We got to work our way out. We got to work our way out and we come out stronger than we ever were, right? You totally rock, Miss Felder. You're so positive. Thank you all so much. You all totally rock. God bless y'all. Any more questions to me when I leave, just make sure that you email me, jb@afroeconomics.com, jb@afroeconomics.com. Thank you, Ms. Sherman, Reverend Bozeman, yes, Demetrius, Mr. Benta said, thank you. You're welcome. Yes, thank you all so much. That's so great. Well, I appreciate y'all and have a great night. I'm so used to doing these during the day. It is nighttime. Look for this later on YouTube. Share it with your friends. And I'm just a phone call, 1-844-JB Bryan or jb@afroeconomics.com. If you would like the book for free, you can purchase the real book at the bookstore. Be blessed. Stay positive. Bye-bye.